welcome to this week's video. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. My name is Marie Vlogs. I'm 26. I currently live in Ottawa. I upload videos twice a week here on YouTube. I started about 6 months ago. I upload vlogs and then themed videos like this one as well. So today we're going to be talking about seasonal depression. Now, I want to do a little disclaimer that I am not a professional. I'm not a medical professional, so take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Most of it's not medical anyways. It's like fun tips. So like I mentioned in the thumbnail, like I'm going to go over 85 and maybe more tips and tricks to help mitigate the seasonal depression. And so I myself am not fully professionally diagnosed with SAD. However, I do find that I just do get generally down in the winter. Typically I look like this. And you know what? We don't want that anymore. I want to shed my sad girl era and enter this new one. And these tips and tricks have really helped me do that. So myself, my personal background with mental health, I've had depression on and off for a few years. It's not a linear process. You know, you don't just get rid of it. Sometimes it just comes back in your life, but I'm actually in a really good place. And I want to continue that throughout, you know, all of the seasons. So I made this list for myself and my friends, but also for you. I wanted to share with the community because I know there are a lot of people that experience this, and you know, the winter dread, Miss Winter. My friend referred to her as Miss Winter. Miss Winter, you know, it's necessary. However, she's vicious. She gets cold, she gets gloomy, she gets angry, and you know, we want to make sure that we don't feel those things once we get to those seasons. So yeah, so right now is a great time to start. You know, when I'm filming this, it's November, and when it's coming out, it's November. Things are already getting cold, especially in Ottawa. I live in Ottawa right now. It is getting colder. Today it's just a beautiful and bright and sunny day. However, it's really cold outside. So, you know, things are happening now. And I find that I've actually focused on this whole idea about all of these tips and tricks that I've created, which I'll get into very shortly. And I focused on it like for, you know, the last few months, and I feel really motivated to go into winter actually, and that's never happened before. So I want to share these things now. I think 2 general tips. Think of it now. It'll get easier to ease into once it's like deep winter, deep cold, deep darkness, and then just tread lightly, you know, be kind to yourself and try things that work for you. So let's get into the actual ideas. I've separated it in 3 different categories. So one is scheduling, keeping a schedule. The second is exposure to light. And then the last one, which I find the most fun and where I have the most ideas, are entertainment. So in the entertainment section, I also have subcategories of different types of entertainment for yourself, because I find personally in the winter and when I'm sad in general, having things to do that takes my mind off of the overall boredom and dread really helps me kind of just get into a better mood. So a lot of these things will hopefully help you do that. So let's go ahead and get started in this. So I'm going to be starting with the first 2 themes of scheduling and exposure to light, because they're smaller and more so like good reminders, but they're really important. So we'll start there. All right, so the first topic is keeping a schedule. So the first 2 things are very basic, but figuring out a morning and night routine that works for you. This is a learning curve. I'm in the process of doing that. You know, it involves a lot of different steps, which I hope to film in the future, like a good morning routine and night routine once I figure that out myself. But that's a great thing to focus on because, you know, it's trial and error. It's intentionally sitting down and figuring out what works for you. What are the routines that you're doing that work and what don't? And then making a routine that fully just works for you. So that can involve lots of things. So maybe getting ready for work in the evenings, maybe you do a workout on the evening or you do it in the morning, skincare, fitting whatever you want to do within your routine. So focusing on that can be a really great thing. Another thing that I recommend for this is doing a monthly reset. Now, if you watched my last video, you already know what that is. And if not, make sure to go watch my last video. So I'll have it popping up if you're on like a laptop or computer or whatever. But I go into detail about how to do a monthly reset, how I do mine. I plan to do these every month on my channel and then update you on my own progress as well. Because it is a progress, it's a learning curve.
Who is playing the bass?
So yeah, make sure you check that out. Another big thing, I know it's gonna be simple, you're gonna be like, seriously? But get enough sleep. I know it's a basic thing. I'm trying to figure out how many hours of sleep I need. Sometimes if I don't get enough sleep, I'm cranky. Sometimes if I get too much sleep, I'm cranky. So we're trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out the magic number for myself, and I think that's really important. I feel like I can't be the only one that struggles with that. So figuring out what works best for you to keep you, you know, alive and ready throughout the day. So I think that's a great thing to focus on. And 2 more things in the schedule thing. A big tip for me, for someone who works predominantly from home and has for a while, this is a big thing for me that I haven't always done and I'm trying to do more, is getting dressed for the day after, you wake up. I was a big culprit, I will admit, to wearing my pajamas all day and the ones that I slept with. I know a lot of people think that's gross, and I know a lot of other people are like, yeah, I do that too. So listen, I'm trying to be better at that. I've changed today, obviously, for a video, but I'm also trying to just change because I feel like once I get ready for the day, I actually am like, okay, we're getting ready for the day. We're going to be productive. We're going to be doing stuff, You change your mindset from sleepy mode to real life mode. So I think that's a really great thing to start doing. And then the other thing might be basic too, but try to move your body on a daily basis, on a regular schedule. I've had a struggle, love-hate relationship with working out. Before the pandemic started, I was, going to the gym every single day, walking there, walking back, I did Zumba classes, don't judge. And then I also did like personal training with a trainer. I was in my fitness era. I would love to get back to that, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what workout works for me. So that's another thing. Figure out what works for you. Try something you might not have thought of in the past. I'm thinking of doing like drum beats, like in my own house. That sounds fun. There's also the concept of cozy cardio, because a big tip is working out is not supposed to be a punishment. It's not supposed to feel like a punishment. So you need to find something that works for you and makes you feel good about yourself, because you're not going to want to do something that you hate. Like I was doing personal training, like Zoom ones, like the last few months, and I started canceling, making excuses because I just didn't like it and I didn't enjoy it. So I stopped. And now I'm trying to figure something out. But going back to cozy cardio, there's this theme. It's someone that made it. I think it's like a TikToker. Anyways, I'll link it down below. But she figured out like a way to make cardio more relaxing for herself. That could be something you could look into. Alrighty, so the next theme is sunlight or just light exposure. Now, the first thing, there are some like medical like sun lamps and stuff like that. Again, not a medical professional, talk to your doctor, I don't know, but that's just a simple little step. Another thing is to, yes, it's dark and gloomy, but Miss Winter sometimes has sun, as the sun is like blaring through my window right now. Sometimes it is sunny, even when it's really cold. So keep an eye on the weather, and it might be simple, but just look at the weather every single day, find when it's going to be sunny, and make intentional time to go outside, maybe do your walk, or just go outside and just take in the sun, because when you don't have it for days and hours, it's not great. So yeah, and if I recognize that there are some places in the world that don't have the sunlight in the winter and stuff like that, but if you can, I highly suggest that. Another thing that I actually recently found out, I had no idea that this was a thing, getting a sunrise alarm clock. I used to just use my iPhone alarms and not me just disassociating because I'm getting triggered by thinking of an alarm, because it's unnatural, and even the smaller sounds, it's not a fun way to wake up to a blaring noise, even the softer ones cause me anxiety. So anyways, we recently purchased a sunrise lamp. So there are different types, but I'll just show you the one that I have. I have this one from Hatch. So far I really like it, but maybe I can do a update when it's been more than a week that I've had it. But essentially a sunrise lamp mimics the sun, so it gradually will get brighter and brighter, and then you can also include natural sounds like birds chirping and stuff like that, but you could just have the sunrise. And it's a really cool way to wake up not to a blaring noise, but also people say that it is actually better for people that experience seasonal depression or just get a little bit more sad during the winter, because it mimics that sunrise. So our brain thinks that we got it. And it's also light exposure anyways, and it really does look like it. It's very accurate. So there are a few different ones with different budgets. So if you're interested in that, check them out. There's Philips, there's Hatch, there's some at Costco. There are quite a few, so it's just a matter of figuring out which one's good for you. And my last tip for light exposure, it's very basic, but if you work from home, if you work from an office, if you're doing a lot of things, wherever you are, basically, even if it's gloomy, try to open the blinds. I fell in the habit that it's oh, it's dark outside, just keep it make no difference. But you still get some exposure to the light, and actually it is better. So even stepping outside when it's gloomy, if you can for a little bit, or just being near the window. For me, I moved my desk closer to a window that I have all this natural light. Even when it's gloomy, it's still lighter than nothing, you can still have your light on, but it's at least getting a natural light. So yeah. Alrighty, so now we're moving into the entertainment section, which is my favorite section because there's so many ideas that I have here. So I'm going to go through as many as humanly possible right now. Make sure to stay towards the end of the video because I'll be mentioning how you can get even more ideas out of me. So yeah, make sure. Anyways, so like I mentioned, entertainment, it's a bigger category and I actually have 5 subcategories. So some of them include hobbies and activities, bigger projects, getting organized, health and beauty, and also getting out and about. So first we'll get started with hobbies and activities. Also, this list was actually very motivated from my grandma. Having a regular conversation with her, she was mentioning how in her new place, you know, she was wanting to do little things like fix up her closet and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, and she's like, but I'm not doing it now. I'm gonna wait till winter because I have nothing to do. And I was like, that makes so much sense. So I'm getting a lot of ideas from that within this list of entertainment because keeping things for yourself to do in the winter months is actually a great idea. Yes, of course, don't put things off just because, and like if you want to do them sooner when it's nice in summer, spring, fall, whatever, sure. But I think intentionally leaving things later that you're excited to do or you're motivated to do makes you feel like less sad and you have something to look forward to. So just something to keep in mind. Alrighty, so activities and hobbies, let's get started. I find that for seasonal depression, undiagnosed, but also just feeling down and general boredom, I find when you distract yourself by doing something, of course it doesn't erase a bigger problem. That's why I'm not saying about the actual diagnosis, but I find that once you're able to take your mind off the feeling of sadness or dread or boredom and you do something that requires some sort of attention, like a mindlessness attention, is great because then you can focus on a little task and then just feel good about doing it and having fun. So yeah. So anyways, we got some fun things. So the first one is coloring. I love adult coloring books. I also really like the Bobby Goods coloring book. Highly recommend it. It's really good quality. It's small business and they're just so cute. So I really like that. Also just getting a coloring book that could equal as decor so you could, you know, frame it or whatever. I think that's a really great idea. And of course there's other things too, like paint by numbers and the jewel painting. I've never done it myself, but those things seem really fun, or even following like a YouTube tutorial, kind of like Bob Ross style, and doing a painting that way could be really fun. Also, there's lots of things you can do with clay. Clay is a really tactile thing to do. You need to focus and then, you know, you can get your mind off things. You can make clay earrings. I used to make a lot of clay earrings. I had a small business, but you can make clay trays, jewelry holders, plates even. There's lots of things that you can do with that. So that's a really fun activity that you could try to learn how to do. It takes a lot of practice and finessing, but it's really rewarding when you create something so beautiful and also that you can use. Some other things are like painting candles or like bending the candles. I've seen a lot of people doing that and making it look cute. Just make sure you're using safe paint if you're going to be burning them because that could be bad. You could try different recipes that you haven't tried. Maybe try a different cookbook. You could even try like a food subscription service, HelloFresh or something like that. You could try baking. If you're not a big baker, try some more complex baking things that take longer so that you block off more fun things in your day. And also maybe even cake decorating. That's something that I really want to do. It's on my Christmas wish list to get like a little set for cake decorating because find it's going to take a lot of attention and I'm not that, like, I feel like I'll be horrible at it in the beginning, but I think it'll be really fun to learn how to do it and practice along. Another idea is to have like a cookbook club. So maybe you and your friends all bake different things from a cookbook, get together, eat them, share the experience. Even a bake-off, I've seen some people do that. I think that's really cute. Everyone bakes something, you get together, there are judges that are nonpartisan, and then you rate the desserts and see who wins. Fun little friendly competition, and also just a fun little thing to do. You can make some friendship bracelets, make them for yourself, friendship necklaces, make them with friends, send them to friends. Cute little activity right there. Maybe try a new skill. I don't know how to crochet or knit or anything like that, so if you don't either, maybe it's time for you could take some time to learn how to do that. Definitely takes a lot of practice, so you'll be able to use up a lot of your time. Even like embroidery, I would love to learn how to do that. And sewing, I know if my grandma's watching this, she's a seamstress and an amazing one, so I'm really hoping I get to see her this winter so she can teach me all her skills. Also, if you're into winter sports, I wish I was. I hope I get into it. Try to do that. Skating, snowmobiling, snowboarding, all that jazz. I don't know how to do any of that. I tried snowboarding. It was actually really hard. I would like to get back into something. I think I'm going to do snowshoeing. I've done it before, but it's like a low impact thing that I can go at my own pace. So I think I'd really enjoy that. Another thing is doing puzzles. I've recently loved puzzles because it does kind of take a while and requires attention, but also I've been intentionally getting ones that also can act as art. So you can just like seal it after Mod Podge or whatever and hang it up and frame it, and then it's art in your house. So it's like a dual purpose thing activity. I personally really like the Gallison brand, but you can of course just get whichever ones. I just find I really like the type of art that they make. It's very my vibe, so I quite enjoy that one. You can get them pretty much. Another thing you can do is start a new series, so it doesn't have to be books, but books, shows, movies, things that have like lots of seasons or next books or next chapters or whatever, movies, you know, sequels, trilogies. So you can, you know, do that marathon of, you know, watching or reading them all throughout the winter. It will probably feel really rewarding once you're finished, and also it's a continuous thing that you're excited to do. You can start making a bunch of handmade gifts. I actually created a Pinterest board for this, so make sure you stay tuned towards the end so you know how to access this Pinterest board, because I came up with a lot of fun ideas. Another thing is kind of like what I'm doing here a little bit, but create a winter bucket list. So think about all the things that you want to accomplish, or just do fun little things and make a little bucket list, make it look cute, you know, if you want, and then check off things as you go. I think that's a really fun process. Another thing is date nights. You can have some fun little ideas that you intentionally do once a week or whatever cadence works for you. You can do it with your friends, your partner. Spencer, my boyfriend, and I have been doing it once a week, every week, and we alternate the person's responsibility for planning, so it's kind of fun. You know, you get a surprise every week or whatever. So that's been really fun. Or you can even do it for yourself. So you can set an intentional time and day that you're going to try something new or just do something special for yourself. Some other things include like trying different cocktail and mocktail recipes. You know, there's actually quite a lot and you can get really creative with it. I think that's a fun little process. Maybe you can find a book, or probably they're all online anyways, and trying a bunch of different recipes once a month, once a week, I don't know, whatever works for you. Just a fun little idea there. I think another thing is going back to cooking, but you can try making more of your comfort meals, things that make you feel good. If, you know, food is kind of like a love language a little bit, and you're bringing some sort of comfort, I think that's an okay thing to do, some comfort meals here and there. Another thing is playing board games. I find that a lot of adults actually just stop playing board games, but there are board games that are fun even if you're an adult. Like there are some intentional adult ones like Risk and Settlers of Catan, whatever, but there's also fun ones that even if you're not an adult are still fun. Like Monopoly takes a week to finish anyways, so you know, if you want something that's time consuming, that's cool. We really like Sequence, we love Clue. We bought Candyland the other day, so you know, slay. You're never too old. It's fairly nostalgic for me, so yeah. Or even try to join some trivia nights, whether it's online or in person. Maybe you could host them with your friends, take turns to host and then participate. I think that's really fun. Another fun thing is creating like a bullet journal. I've seen lots of people do this in the past and I've always wanted to do it, so maybe I'll start doing that. So it's like trying to be creative but also creating a planner. And there's lots of different pages that people do, like lists, and I think this is my next point too. You can make a list of all the movies and TV shows and books that you liked and watched, so that you can recommend them to others. Like for some reason I always get asked like, oh, like have you been watching anything on Netflix or whatever, and then I draw a blank because I literally forget it. The second I watch something, it's gone. But my boyfriend has a list and like an app that he uses. Every time someone asks, like he has like a go-to list of things that he can recommend. And some two last ideas that I'm going to mention here are, you know, take an online class. There are some free ones like on LinkedIn too, to like learn some new skills. For professional purposes, but also just like general purposes. And also maybe if you have a second language, practice your second language. It does take a long time to practice, so might be a good idea to take that time to find a little study buddy, or just whether it's an app or paper, you know, focus on that. Set times, you know, every day or week, whatever works for you. Alrighty, so the next subcategory I'm going to be talking about in entertainment is getting organized. So I've been in my organization era and I had to stop myself. I was like, stop doing things right now because I want to wait until it's gross outside so that I can focus, because it makes me so happy. I recently did our bathroom drawers, which is my first thing. Organize your drawers, bathroom drawers, kitchen drawers, your hobby drawers, tool drawers. Drawers get messy, we know. Like if you don't have an organization process, it just goes through the window. Like, so taking some cubes or finding a method that works for you, but making it like an enjoyable process to open these drawers. I think that's a really great idea, and it actually takes a long time to think about, what works best. You can also organize other things like your fridge. There's lots of different ways people organize them. Another thing is, you can organize your pantry and your spices, things like that. Organizing your car is another idea. If you watch my vlogs, in the background we have like coats and masks and stuff, but I'd really like to have like cubes or something so that things aren't just like everywhere, because it drives me insane. Another project to get organized is we want to create a car bag, which is another idea, but of like necessities and things that we need, because the other day we were like, oh, I forgot my glasses. Oh, I wish I had Tylenol. Oh, we need more hand sanitizer. So having like a backup bag of all the things that you're like, every time you're in the car and you're like, oh, add it to the bag so that you will have it in the cases that you need it. Some other things that you can start organizing are electronics. I find that most people have like a bag of electronics that are all messed up. You can take some time and organize them by categories and wrap the cables all nicely and neat so it's not like a disaster every time you try to find it. Some other things you can get organized are some digital things. So clean up your iPhone storage, clean up the things that you're not using on your phone, clean up your desktops, also your digital your digital files if you have like an SD card or external hard drive or USBs, get all those files together and figure out the best way to store them and organize them. So that could take a long time. Another thing is you can take time to organize your desk. And then another thing is learn how to use Notion to be more organized in your life. I've mentioned Notion many times. It's not sponsored. I wish it was. I am going to film a video on how I use it, showing you my pages, stuff like that. But it's a great website just for overall planning and organization. So you can make pages for like to-do lists, big plans, really anything, honestly. So that could be something you could start learning how to do and creating these things and then inserting stuff into the pages. Okay, so now we're going to into bigger projects. But before I start, I want to mention, thank you so much for getting this far into the video. I actually have all these listed and more within the description. I've created a PDF of all of these ideas. So for those of you who are seeing this, make sure you check out the description. You can download a PDF that include lots of ideas there outlined that I won't be mentioning here. And I'll be mentioning some here that I won't mention there, so vice versa. So you'll get all of them if you download that PDF that I've just made for you. There's no cost or anything like that. I don't get any leads. It's just for you. I've also been sharing it with friends and family. So yeah. Okay, so projects. So these are projects that maybe you've thought of and you've been putting them off. They're bigger projects, or they're projects that you've never even thought of. And these are great ways to keep your mind busy and keep your mind focused on something else rather than how ugly it is outside. Okay, so the first two things are like house cleanouts and closet cleanouts. Clutter builds up really easy. Get rid of the things that don't bring you joy, that you don't use, that are just collecting dust, whether that be flowers in a vase. I probably will be donating things like that. But also going through your clothes. If you're like me, every year I wear less and less of the things that I have. But go through your stuff, donate it, give it to other people. If you can sell it, cool, whatever works for you. Going through that process takes a long time probably, and that's a great idea to keep you busy. Another thing you can do, of course, people clean their houses all the time, but deep cleaning, I know for a lot of people, gets put aside. So maybe you start deep cleaning like every single thing that you need to do, like the big items, room by room. That could be a bigger project, something you can do. And then also you feel good because you're living in a cleaner space, Yeah, see, a lot of people do the spring cleaning, but this is pre-spring cleaning so that, you're doing stuff when it's dark outside, and then it comes spring, you can go outside and garden instead, or whatever, be outside, frolic, I don't know. Another thing that is something that I actually like to do all year is redecorating, but with stuff that you already own. Of course, if you can go purchase a bunch of stuff, your means allows it, cool. Mine doesn't, which is also fine. So I like redecorating with things that I already have. So sometimes I just did take things, that I had maybe in the living room and I bring it into our bedroom, or even some bathroom items that are decoration, move it around. It's a fresh new space. It's a project for yourself. And it's also nice to be around things that you like. Another project you can do is start planning a vacation for the nicer months. So giving yourself all this time during the winter to create the perfect little trip or plan, if your means allows, of course, that you'll be looking forward to. So that could be really fun. And my two last ideas for this section are creating a photo album or even getting into scrapbooking. My friend does this and I think it's lovely, and I'm starting to get into it as well. I think it's really great to have like a physical memory of things. I find being a 90s baby, I have so much physical media of myself, and I don't know if moms do that now. Like, if you're a mom, let me know, because I feel like it's so easy just to have your camera or your phone and keep everything stored in the cloud, but I think having like a physical thing is really special, and I feel like we're in an age that might be erased, and it makes me sad. So that could be a fun project, learning how to do that, getting the supplies, and again, tactile, different activities that will keep you busy. And then another one is actually curating playlists for yourself. So creating playlists for different activities or moods. For example, like I have one for a workout that I'm like really working out. I have one for like a chill workout. I have a shower playlist. I have a morning playlist. That could be a really cool thing for you to work on for yourself, and then you get to enjoy it. Alrighty, so let's go into the next category, which is health and beauty. So the first two things are maybe basic, but whatever. Finding a skin routine that works for you. I've mentioned the morning routine kind of thing. I've been working on my skin routine for like a year and a half now. I find that there's always new things coming out, but you know, taking the time and researching and finding products and reading about them and just figuring out what works for you and your skin. Another idea and something that I've been doing is getting into a hair routine, figuring out what works for you. I have, again, really dry skin, but also an oily scalp. So I'm trying to figure out a hair routine that works. So taking the time again to figure that out, figure out the products, do some research. I'm on Hair Talk. It's a thing, you know, so that could take up a lot of your time if you're interested in doing that. Another thing that could be fun is having intentional days, like maybe it's a Sunday every week, it's like a Sunday reset, you know, you have your everything shower, maybe you style and do your hair, maybe you paint your nails, you take a bath, whatever, you put on a spa playlist, have a little spa night for yourself, hair mask, face mask, whatever it is that works for you. Maybe have like that longer process and just truly enjoy it. You can watch a vlog. I hear Marie vlogs on YouTube is really good to watch anytime. So, you know, just an idea. Another thing you can do is try out a new hairstyle. I have brown to blonde hair right now. I wanted to dye my hair reddish a few months ago, but I was like, no, I'm gonna wait till this winter. It's gonna be a process. It's the first time I'm doing it to myself. And I know other people screaming, red ruins blonde hair. I know, I've done it. I've done it before, I've gotten it done. But it's like a semi-permanent, so it won't stain. It's a pretty good one. But anyways, that could be a thing for you to do. You know, you'll new month, new me, like something to, I don't know. It's an activity to do, but also you could play around with different colors and stuff. I don't know. I think that could be a fun thing. Another thing is nail art. I'm horrible at it. You could tell probably I have two nails that are painted and they're both chipped. I had to take a picture. Only these two fingers needed to be painted. That's where I'm at with that. But I'd like to actually be better at it. So I think that could be a fun thing, practicing nail art, practicing painting in general, practicing even the nail care, like the cuticle care and stuff like that. That could be a whole thing. Maybe it could be on your little wish list if the means allow to get a little nail kit set. Another thing you can do health and beauty wise is trying different heatless curls. I've tried my fair share and they haven't always worked out. So this is a process I'll be continuing to do. And my last little health and beauty one is focus on self-help. So figure out what works for you with self-help. Is it mindfulness, meditation? Is it journaling? I actually really like using this book. It's like a guided book. I talked about it in my reset a little bit, but I like doing some of the activities and just looking through and figuring out what sort of thing I can focus on for like self-help reasons and feeling good about myself. Alrighty, so the last subcategory is getting out and about. So here are some ideas if you want to get out of your house and go do things. So the first thing I think is really fun is doing escape rooms. Another thing, and this is something that we hope to do, and of course, if it fits within your means, planning a little cabin getaway, because you know, Miss Winter is actually pretty. Like, winter is actually pretty when you don't have to deal with it. So maybe going to like a little escape, a little cabin in the woods. Hopefully it doesn't end like that movie. But anyways, you know, get a cute little cabin and just, you know, relax and enjoy watching the nature and, you know, whatever. I think that'd be really fun. Another thing that you could try to do is try cafe hopping, try all the local different coffee shops in your area or just a little bit further than your area. Maybe you want to try all their different hot chocolates, see which one's better. Try all their pastries, see which one's better. All the themed holiday drinks, there are more than just Starbucks out there. Another thing is museums. Here in Ottawa, we're very lucky. We have lots of beautiful museums. You know, it's inside. Takes quite a while to get through, so that's a really fun idea. Another thing is you can go around the towns or the towns close to you and look at all the lights. Find an area that actually goes all out and enjoy looking at that, whether it's in the car or, you know, maybe doing a walk, getting a coffee at the same time. Another little thing is going out and supporting local, finding all the little local shops near you or adjacent to you again, or even online, and just shopping around local things that you already need for gifts or anything like that. Also check out if there's any craft markets. People are so talented and they make beautiful things. So check out if there's any markets near you. Check out all the winter festivals and stuff. Typically towns and municipalities and cities, they come up with festivals because they know people are bored. So check out what's near you and go take part of it. I know in Ottawa we have a few, there's also Winterlude. So there's different activities, ice sculptures and like outside shows and fun little activities. So if you're in the area, check that out. And my two final tips, this might be a funny one to you, but if you're going grocery shopping, it could be a fun little thing to try a different grocery shop that you don't always go to. For example, we always go to Sobeys, but you know, sometimes we'll go to Superstore just for a little, you know, difference. I recognize the privilege in saying that because groceries are very expensive. And we just try to shop within our means, but also we went because it also like fit our means of things that we needed and things were on sale. And then my last one is going to clay cafes. I think that's so fun. I used to go in Fredericton, New Brunswick all the time. That's where I'm from, by the way, if you didn't know. And I really liked it. You pick out like a already made pottery thing. It could be a plate, it could be a decoration, a mug, whatever, and then you get to paint it, and then they fire and glaze it for you, and then they tell you when it's ready. So yeah, and you can actually spend a long time there making something, you know, that you really like. And it's a dual purpose because you get to take it home and use it however you want. So, which we love. We love a dual purpose thing over here. Alrighty, well, that was the majority of my ideas, and I feel like I've been talking and talking. I need water. Like I mentioned earlier, make sure to use the PDF that I've left in the description below. So this lists all the ideas and a little bit more. Also includes some links to some Pinterest boards. So it's like much more detailed, and also you get even extra ideas. So make sure you use that, and you can send it to friends and family, whoever you think would like to use it. Make sure to share this video to them as well, please. Thank you. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you did, and if you aren't already. And thank you so much for joining this video and this community. I'm so excited. I'm at 153 right now subscribers when I'm filming this, and I just feel really happy. Anyways, thank you for being a part of it, and I'll see you in the next video.